All right. Well, thanks for coming back to the Bigfoot Society podcast. First interview episode of season 3. We have Nash Hoover back with us from the Chasing Legends crew. So good to have you back, Nash. I'm
Yeah, thanks for
glad
having me
that
back.
I'm glad you contacted me to come back on because I totally would have spaced on it and I would have been kicking myself. So good stuff. Good stuff. So you are just coming right off of the Louisiana trip. Is that correct?
Yeah, I literally just crawled out of the swamps a couple days ago,
Oh
and
my goodness. Wow.
yeah, it was quite a ride.
That is awesome. Um, so it's been a while since we talked last. I want to say it's been a few months. Uh, but so I might have some new listeners since that time. But do you mind sharing with listeners again, like what? So first off, who it is that you are, and what is Chasing Legends? We'll
Sure.
start there.
So, my name is Nash Hoover. I am a cryptid researcher, adventurer. I'm the executive producer and creator of Chasing Legends, which is a series that I created as kind of a platform to further my own
Mhm.
research in the cryptid field and kind of take take a viewership along with me and kind of show what it's really like to kind of get in the field and research these cases. Um, so yeah, so I've got a crew of 7 people now
Oh wow,
that help produce the show, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's been a
that is
fun
awesome. That
journey.
is awesome. Yeah. So, can you kind of give me a rundown of who it is that you've got on the Chasing Legends crew right now?
Sure. Well, we have Alex Pedikov,
Hmm.
Pedikov Media, On the Trail of Champ, Lions of the East, done a lot of stuff with Small Town Monsters. Eli Watson from Cryptid Campfire, which is another cryptid podcast
Yep.
out there, another popular
Yep.
one. Um, we have the OG Michaela Hoover, which is my cousin. She's been with me
Cool.
since day one. Sammy Vernay is our director of photography. He's been with us a number of years now. Um, Jack Kozitsa is our new audio tech. So he did 3 of the 4 episodes this season, and then he'll stay with us into the future. And then we
Okay.
have Brian Burninghouse, which is our second camera op. And those are the 7.
That's awesome. That man. So that's got to be quite the. I mean, you see these old episodes of Destination Truth with Josh Gates, and it's like there's always this scene where they're like traveling and getting the whole crew like through the airport and stuff. Did you guys have experiences like that, like trying to get through the airport and dragging all your stuff, or how was that kind of getting around?
Yeah, each one's definitely been interesting. We definitely play a lot of lot of games like Tetris when we're trying to get into the rental cars because we have 7 people plus 4 to 5 cases of equipment plus our own personal
Oh my
luggage.
goodness.
And yeah, we always we pretty much start filming as soon as we land wherever
Okay.
we're at, and kind of follow us to the airport, kind of what similar to what Destination Truth did. But it's obviously more to kind of just to show just the chaos of trying to coordinate 7 people through an airport. And
Yeah. Totally.
yeah, it's been a lot of, it's been interesting.
That is cool, man. That is cool. So actually, so there's one question I want to ask real quick so I don't forget it. So, uh, the Patreon members have the ability to ask questions to the guests, and then I kind of act as the middle person there. But so, my buddy Greg, who's from Canada, has a question for you, and this kind of we'll work it into something else too. But are there actually? Let me get the actual question here. Okay, do you have any sites on Canadian locations for Chasing Legends in the future?
Yes, we do.
You do? Oh,
Oh
Greg.
yeah.
Greg is so
I
good,
got
man.
I got
Jedi,
I'm
that's
I'm I'm
cool.
half Canadian. I got family in Ontario. You
Oh,
damn
you
right I'm
are?
gonna end up going
Oh
there.
my
Oh yeah.
goodness. Yeah. Greg is actually well, do you know Jedi Imposter on Instagram? You should
I did
look
not.
up Jedi Imposter. Um, you, yeah, he's from a similar area. I don't want to dox Greg, but you'd have a lot in common.
Yeah, we.
So.
I think I have one. It's a certain lake in British Columbia. I'll say that.
Oh, he is going to be a very happy camper because we have talked about some Canadian lake monsters before, and yeah, he'll be happy to hear that. Very cool, man. Um, but let's not get too far into the future, I guess. So, so you have 4 episodes, right, for this season of
Yep.
Chasing Legends? That's correct. Do you mind kind of going over maybe a brief synopsis of what viewers can expect to maybe the theme of each episode or the focus on each one? Because
Yeah.
each one's a different cryptid,
Um,
right?
Yes, each episode follows our search for a different cryptid in a different part of the country, and I say different, and I mean different. We
Yeah.
each with 4 episodes, 4 different completely environments. Snow, swamp, mountain, desert, to lake. So we started. I mean, the order we filmed it in is no way how we're actually going to release them. We started back in March, filming out in Massachusetts, looking for puckwudgies in
Nice,
Bridgewater
nice.
Triangle. That
Yeah.
we got hit with a freak snowstorm, as I'm sure
Mhm.
you know what those are like out there.
Yeah, they come quick. Yeah.
The old nor'easters is what they call them.
Yep.
So yeah, we literally it was pretty funny because it was like we woke up the day to shoot our interviews, and we had one interview in the morning and we had one in the afternoon. And the interviews looked like they were filmed on completely different days because all the snow melted as the
Yeah.
day went on.
Oh, that's funny.
So we had everything was covered in snow in the morning in our first interview, and it was all gone by the time we did our second interview. It was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
But that one was a lot of fun. That was our the one where we first involved Alex Fedekov into it.
Okay.
So then we it was a couple months in between the first and second shoot. Second shoot, we headed to Arizona and looked for the Mogollon monster, which is their regional Bigfoot.
Yes, it's very cool.
That one was a lot of fun. It was the temperature differences between Phoenix to Payson, Arizona, and then up on top of the Mogollon Rim was insane. And we were there middle of July, so it was like 90s in Phoenix, and it was like 70s, 80s in Payson, and then we got up on top of the rim and it was like 50 degrees.
Wow.
So yeah, in July in Arizona. So I mean, it was nice because it wasn't hot, but none of us really went prepared for cold. I mean, obviously, we're all from the Midwest, but yeah, we definitely had to go out and buy some layers. But that one was a lot of fun. That one was cool. That the whole Mogollon Rim region of Arizona is so cool. It's just so beautiful. It's so vast and full of wilderness, and there's like no one around for quite a while. It's perfect environment for something to live pretty well undetected. So then about a month after that, beginning of September, we headed out to Vermont and we did Lake Champlain and went looking for Champ.
Wow.
That one was really cool. It was pretty surreal to get out there after years of, kind of reading and researching Champ to finally be on the shores of Lake Champlain and realize how big it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's massive, right? It's cool up there. Yeah. Yeah.
And then this last weekend, the second to last weekend of October, we headed to Louisiana and went looking for the Rougarou, which is a Cajun werewolf dogman legend down there in the swamps. And
that's crazy, man.
Got out there as far as we could and encountered some gators, and yeah, it was a really great way to end the season down in Louisiana. Got to go out and hang out, spend the night on Bourbon Street, and let everyone kind of just enjoy themselves.
Oh, really?
Just have fun. Oh yeah, it was.
That could be dangerous by itself.
Oh yeah, we definitely encountered a lot of the notorious scammers down there, and
oh really?
We
Wow.
documented the whole thing. We documented it all, so it'll make it into the
Oh,
show.
yeah, that's funny. That's funny. That'll be cool. Um, so yeah, I just realized as you're talking, like it's kind of smart the way that you pick the different cryptids to be in this season, because it's kind of like there's something for everyone. If you're into water cryptids, there's one for you there. If you're into the little creepy dudes, there's one for you there. If you're into the Bigfoot, there's your Mogollon monster. If you're into the Dogman stuff or the werewolves, like there's a Ruger. Like, did you do that in mind, or like what was the process that you went through in picking which cryptids would be for this season?
Yeah, so since I knew we were only going to do about 4, I wanted them to be complete. I wanted each one to be different. I didn't want to
Mm.
do two Bigfoot cases, which we easily could. I didn't want to do
Oh yeah.
2 lake monster cases, this and that. I wanted one of everything. All across the board. We were looking for completely different things, so that way each one, it was a new challenge for myself and my team.
I
We
like it.
couldn't we couldn't take anything that we really learned other than like production wise into the next one to approach the same case. um so yeah, it was definitely chosen on purpose. The choosing of completely different environments, that was completely a happy accident.
Really? Okay.
It was kind of one of those things we thought about after the fact, like, hey, we're going into completely different regions of the country and different biomes, and each one. So
Mm-hmm.
it was just really cool. It really was a new challenge every time in that aspect of the weather and environment.
Did you have things pretty well planned out, or was it a thing where you would go into an area and if there's a happenstance or a synchronicity where it's like, hey, we should get this on film, it just happens to be here. We didn't know that this was here, but let's go for it. Did you encounter any of that type stuff?
There were so many happy accidents on this show.
That's
um,
amazing.
and then there were more accidents on this show. um, a show like this is so impossible to really like nail. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can plan it, you can plan and plan and plan beforehand and think you have think you're good to go, and then you get there and it's like, okay, we got to start from completely start over.
Okay.
And that's just kind of that's just the difficulties of, one, doing a show like this, and two, doing full on like field cryptid research. Is
Yeah.
like, until you actually get boots on the ground in the locations, you really have no idea what to expect. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you can read about it or you can watch other people, other people's videos, but until you're there and realize how large of a location, or vast of a location, or how deep this certain lake is, or whatnot, you really can't. um
Mm.
so really, in that aspect, it was difficult. I mean, we definitely made it work. Obviously, with our interviews and stuff like that, those were a little bit different story. We always it's usually a lot easier to kind of know what to expect from stuff like that. But in terms of everything else, I mean, but that's just the beauties of doing a very raw run and gun show, is
Nice.
you get to kind of document all the hard times, and there were definitely a lot
Yeah,
of hard
that's
times.
awesome. How is Nash now different from Nash before this whole process started? This whole, I mean, look at the whole thing, and like I've no, well, we've been acquaintances, let's say, for a few years, because I've known you through the Van Meter
Right.
Visitor Festival, right? And I can tell that the way that you are now, like, definitely, I'd say there is a change. Um, do you feel like you're different than when you started this whole, journey?
I'd say so. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been working on this show for almost 7.5 years,
Oh man.
and
Wow.
the plan has always been to get to this point where
Mm.
we've filmed consecutive episodes and are packaging them together to release as a season.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into this year with, okay, this is going to be it. This is going to be the year. Let's do this. And but at the same time, I always had in the back of my head, like, this might not work.
Mm.
This is, it's going to go the
Yeah.
same route that how all these other ones have gone, where we're going to shoot pukwudgie and it's going to go great, but then everything's going to fizzle out. um but it didn't happen. I attribute a lot to that, to the people involved.
Mm.
Bringing in, Alex Pettikov, Eli Watson, and really
Yeah.
assembling what I call like my dream team. Like, this is
That's
the
awesome.
perfect crew. This is the crew that I've always wanted going throughout the show. And just watching everybody work, and somehow, and going to these locations and going through all the things that we went through, and thinking in the back of my head, how the hell did I convince 6 strangers to do this?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
To give me their time,
Yeah.
and and put their lives, and some of them, and their money on the line to
Mm-hmm.
produce this show. But then
Yeah.
to watch everybody get so, everyone got along so well, and great friendships were kind of created or solidified from this experience. And just watching everybody work so hard, and actually enjoy it, and get and see them get something out of it, that I
Yeah.
also that. And then now to be here, wrapped 4
Right.
episodes in 2020 of all years.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
All that stuff you said, and put a pandemic on top of it, and to get it to work.
yeah,
That's crazy,
exactly.
man. Hats off to you guys.
Yeah, I definitely have a switch has definitely been flipped in me, in terms of the tenacity and the dedication that I have towards this, because now
That's
it's
awesome.
just like, I want to get these edited. I want people to see what we did,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
I want to get back out there. And everybody does. Everyone, as soon as we wrapped, everyone's like, okay, when are we doing this again?
Well,
It's
that's
like,
cool,
well, we
man.
gotta
That's really cool.
we gotta release these first, and then we can get to
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, I think it's just it's that feeling of something that you work so long and so hard for, and it finally happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still like, I still haven't even like grasped the fact that I did this finally. I finally
Yeah,
did
that's
what
awesome.
I've been, trying to do for so long. And people are excited to see it, and I'm excited to let people see it. It's gonna be awesome.
That is really cool. Who's gonna be the main person editing it? Is it you or?
Me.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep, it'll be me and my director of photography, Sammy Vernay. We're the two
Okay.
that kind of tackle it all. Mostly
Wow.
me, but he comes in when he can, because he's an editor he does it for a job, so
Oh, nice.
he's
Okay.
really good at it. So
Yeah.
all the really nice looking editing is going to be him, and all of the everything else is me.
Do, so you think a lot of hours of footage, or how much stuff you got to go through? A ton of stuff. Or?
I was talking to somebody about that yesterday, because I'm like, we have, like, our shoots are 2 to 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 2 to 3 days worth of footage, and we're usually filming all day, and we're usually filming on anywhere between 4 to 6 cameras.
Oh, wow.
So you times that
Yeah.
by however long. So yeah, we're looking at like, at least a week's worth of footage that I have to
Man.
edit down to like 30-40 minutes.
Oh boy, that's incredible. And is there a? It's been a few months, so I'm sorry I can't remember the details, but because you had a fundraiser, like
Yeah.
was it like a Kickstarter or GoFundMe for this, which was successful, of course, because we're here.
Yep. Yeah.
And is there a certain date that you're trying to get everything ready to go by, or just as soon as you can type deal?
Um, Publicly it's winter 2021, so it'll be like after the first of the year.
Nice.
I've been telling the crew I would like everything like done and done by the end of January at the latest, if not
Mm-hmm.
earlier.
Right.
So ideally, I would like it out sometime around Christmas, first of the year. But things
Sure.
happen. I'm gonna try my hardest. Like, I
Yeah.
have the next few days off of
Definitely.
work, so I'm planning on pretty much hitting the ground running, and editing away as much as this stuff as I can.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at, is trying to get it out by the end of the year.
Cool. Yeah. And I bet they're. I know I'm excited to see. I've actually heard tons of people that are excited to see it. It'll be a good time, especially. So I did some research about the Mogollon monster for something to put together for my Patreon, and it blew my mind how it's like I never knew that area that you guys were in, like it's not all desert in Arizona. Like there's a very
Yeah.
thick and hard to get to forested region, right? Like that's
Yeah,
where it is.
once
Yeah.
you get about an hour north of Phoenix, it's like you're in like a completely different world.
That's crazy, dude. Man, I'm excited to see that one. That'd be good stuff. So do you have a list then of you've already mentioned you're kind of thinking towards the future, maybe have a list of stuff that you're already working towards, or
Yeah,
who knows.
we've got a list that we've kind of got
That's cool. That's
some
cool.
some are confirmed that we're thinking, and some we're kind of still on the fence about. Kind of depends on where we are allowed to go
Oh yeah,
with all the COVID
that's
stuff.
true. Yeah. Did you run into any did you I don't know, did you run into any areas where you were like, "Oh, we're in quarantine now," or "This could not be good," or "Now we have to stay here for 14 days," or, you know, hopefully not.
When we were filming the Champ episode, there were a lot of tense moments just because Vermont was pretty locked down.
Mhm.
And we were nervous about if we were going to
Yeah.
get stopped and they find out,
Mhm.
oh, we're all from completely different parts of the country. And um, I know that that one was probably the most probably the biggest headache out of the four in terms
Really?
of planning because of COVID.
Wow.
We had all these, we had interviews lined up where we had, people that were going to allow us to, because, with Lake Champlain, there's a lot of islands and stuff. So we were going to do an investigation where we got dropped on an island and we were going to
Okay.
investigate, from the middle of the lake while, a lot of the people that own these islands, they were like, yeah, okay, you can come in. But then they were like last minute, like, oh no, sorry, I don't want you,
Oh,
I can't let
no.
I'm not going to open the island or anything. So it was a lot of that. Lake Champlain was probably or the Champ episode was probably the craziest one out of the four in terms of just like everything that could go wrong did.
Really?
And we just kind of
Okay.
had to roll with it. I mean, all of our
Hmm.
interviews, all the interviews that we had set were great, and everyone was, very happy to talk with us given the situations. But in terms of like actually film locations and this and that, it got pretty hairy because there was a lot of like Champ related things that we wanted to show and talk about, but we couldn't go into the places because they were closed down.
Oh, really?
Um,
Oh, man.
yeah. Um, but I mean, that pretty much just kind of like, you know, the Champ one was a lot of fun. And I think we all kind of talked about like, I think out of the four, that would probably be one that we would like revisit sometime in the future, you know, post COVID, where we can actually do it the way that we tried to do it and
I was
weren't
just
able
going to
to.
ask you that. Yeah. I was going to ask what would be the what would be the first one you would go back to? What would be the
Probably that one, yeah.
yeah, interesting.
It's just such a good story, and it's just like
That's true, yeah.
you would need to spend like 2 weeks on that lake to even like scratch the surface on what could be there.
Mm.
It's just it's just such a big lake, and it's so deep. It's any possible, anything is possible out there really with that one.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I mean you've got so it sounds like that's one of the main ones that you've been researching over the years. But I mean, on top of that, you've got Alex Petikoff. That's one of his main things as well. Is like he's totally into Champ. So
Yeah,
it'd
he
be
pretty
crazy to
much
yeah.
Yeah, Alex pretty much ran point on that one in terms
Okay,
of the setting
I
up the
was
interviews and
wondering.
stuff
Yeah,
like that, just because he knew
nice.
everybody.
That is so cool. Was there anything that happened during filming that surprised you? Maybe it sounded like there kind of some weird stuff that happened, but
Oh, there was
anything
always all
else?
kind of
Yeah.
everything surprised me on this one. Yeah, we had all kinds of fun little mishaps and stuff like that. I think uh, the first episode we shot on Pukwudgie, we had this crazy Motel 6 incident, and which pretty much drove us to, okay, we're not staying in hotels anymore for this show.
Ooh, really?
So we rented Airbnbs, for the remaining 3. I think in Arizona we got stuck in the mud and took everybody to get us out.
Are these in the episode? Like, is that?
Oh yeah.
This is so good. This is. Gonna be
we
great,
filmed.
man.
Everything got filmed. We got stuck in the mud in Arizona, and everyone jumps out to push, and I look over and there's Sammy, our director of photography, like filming and not helping. But I'm glad he did, because he captured the whole thing.
He did too. Smart kid.
And then with Champ, there was I forget. I mean, there was a mishap with some boats, and
oh boy,
our investigation, which at the time, up until Louisiana, was probably the sketchiest and scariest of the investigations that we've done. We're pretty much out in this, massive lake in these little rickety kayaks looking for a lake monster, because that's what we end up having to resort to get out. What happened? And then there was the drone incident in Louisiana.
Oh, you guys had drones going?
Oh yeah, we had like 3 drones throughout the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And then
Alex has one. Yeah.
Alex has one, Sammy has one, and Eli has one. Usually they're kind of like, they put them up individually, but when we were in Louisiana, they decided they wanted to throw them all up at once and have a drone off. And there was Alex kind of flew a little too close to some cypress trees and dropped his drone in the swamps, and somehow it landed on the one little patch of gland at the base of one of these trees.
No way.
So we were on a boat, and we were able to get close enough where we could kind of get a board out, and I jumped out into the swamp, alligator infested swamp, on basically these fallen trees that I could stand on, and I'm walking on these, and they're just starting to crumble, and the boat captain's like, here's this board, so he passes it out to me, and I'm able to kind of make a bridge between that tree and another tree and get across and retrieve his drone on this one patch of land. So I was probably like one of the only people ever in history of that swamp to stand on that tiny patch of land in this alligator infested swamp.
Wow, that could have been a different turnout.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
And that was all filmed.
Oh, was it really cool?
Yeah, I'm like trying to make my way back, and I look up, and there's like 4 cameras in my face. Like,
awesome. No, I loved. Alex does a lot of drone stuff in his up in New Hampshire, and that'll make for some good footage. I'm excited to see that. Definitely, that'd be good stuff. Did you have anything? So your main focus, of course, is going to look for cryptids, and I guess the Rougarou one, that could have gotten a little bit maybe a little bit well, you've got a werewolf potentially. Did you have anything happen out of the ordinary when you're out there, maybe spooky, or oh, that's weird, there's a light there, or did it stay pretty on the up and up? You know what I mean?
With the Rougarou one, there were definitely lights that we saw, but they were connected to the heads of alligators in night that were 15 feet away from us. That's a story in itself, and that became the scariest situation on this show so far.
Is that something you can tell at the end?
Yeah, I'll talk about that at the end.
All right, cool. I saw a picture. Alex put up some pictures today. Yep. And I don't know if this is. I'm gonna allude to what it is, so I don't spoil something by accident. There is a picture of the group where it's a figure, and it has its mouth around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Sammy. That's Sammy.
Can you tell what that's about, or is that something for the episode? If it is for the episode, it's fine.
No, it's fine. So this guy that took us down the boat, Billy Gaston is his name. he
Nice.
has a stuffed, like a big like Rugru statue that he
Oh
has,
man.
that he like puts out on Halloween and stuff like that. So
Wow.
he brought on the boat with us so we could, we set it out in the swamp so we could get, just kind of some shots of it and kind of do some fun stuff with it. So that was on the boat with us the whole time. So that's what he when he wanted to get a group photo of all of us, and he wanted us to be around this Rugru statue.
Oh, that's cool.
And then Sammy decided to have it attack him.
That's awesome. It looks very similar to the one, like, I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of Joe Rogan's setup, but he's got like a statue that looks like that in his studios. Yeah. Um, so, here's a question for you. So, is it a thing? So, you've got 4 cryptids. Good thing I did that off camera. 4. Yeah, that's for the YouTube watchers. Do you believe that all 4 of these cryptids, I guess if you went to look for them, you're believing that these are 100% like they could exist? Or what is your viewpoint when it comes to cryptids? Do you go into it believing that they already exist, or do you go in maybe with kind of a skeptical mindset in some cases as well?
Yeah, so I personally go into every case as an open-minded skeptic.
Okay.
I pretty much toss aside any personal beliefs or desires to that certain cryptid, whether I personally think it could exist or not. I go into everyone, pretty much with the mindset of there's no way in hell that there's anything out here, and then that way I'm not let down at the end if it doesn't look like there is anything there.
Okay.
Everything can kind of go one way or the other. And I think that mindset is just kind of how I've always done it. So, I mean, obviously, I think with the 4 of them, I think the one that I personally think, after doing all 4 of these episodes,
Mm-hmm.
I think Champ and Muggy Monster probably have the most going for them in terms of the possibility of there being something there, just given the environments that they live in.
I would agree.
And just how how large and deep Champlain is, and how vast and sparsely populated the Mogollon Rim region is of Arizona.
Totally.
It's like perfect. And we discuss all of this in every episode. We kind of have like a little round table thing that we do at the end, where we kind of get every crew members kind of
yeah, dude.
crew members kind of personal this is literally like we come off the investigation like, okay, well, how does everybody feel about this? And then everyone gives their their 2 cents and their kind of feelings about it. And yeah, it's just cool to see. And the reason we do that is, one, I want everyone to know who the crew is, and 2, I want the crew to feel like they have a voice, and they get to share their feelings on whatever we've just spent several days looking for.
That's really cool. And it's not just like the it's the whole crew that's involved with that scene.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
really
not
unique,
all
I
of
think.
them talk sometimes, but yeah, it's everybody. We
That's
we
awesome.
try to get everybody's input that
That's
will
very
give
cool.
it.
What are your plans on how are you planning to make the films available?
So all of them will be on YouTube.
Okay.
100% for free.
Wow. That's cool. Is there a plan, and this is just because personally I can't remember. Is there a plan to put them on DVD at all? I can't remember if that was like a thing for or a possibility. Or
There was a one of the reward options on the Kickstarter that we did was for DVDs.
Gotcha.
So those people definitely will be getting DVDs, and I might make some more that I will either sell or give out to friends in the field that didn't donate. In terms of, I don't think I'll do any sort of DVD sales after that. I might for like events and keep it just strictly for like public events, but I don't think I'll do anything in terms of like online sales.
Dude, I want to see a screening at like the Van Meter Visitor Festival. That would be really cool if you could, screen one of your
I'll
films.
see
That'd
if
be awesome.
because I think they kept the same lineup for next year for this year, obviously, since it didn't happen.
Yeah, because you were
So
supposed to
I'll
be one
see
of
if
the
I can.
speakers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll see if I can work something out with them because I know they like to do that and let people show stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, I'll either be I'll try to either show something from this season, or if it comes down to it and we have some stuff shot and edited, I'll try and show some stuff for season 2 if we're at that point.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Do you think that so looking ahead maybe at a season 2, is it a thing where like, maybe take a breather, take maybe a quarter off, or is it a thing where like if everyone's up for it, go right back into it? I mean, I would assume everyone has like jobs going on and it's hard to juggle all those schedules, but
I can tell you that with all of us having our own, we all do have day jobs that we have to revolve this around. But
sure.
with even with those, I can tell you without a doubt, because everybody told me everyone's good to
Mm-hmm.
go when we're
That's
ready
awesome.
to go.
Very cool.
And I already have 2 like in pre-production.
Oh wow. That's
So
cool. That's cool.
yeah, so basically one of the reasons why I want to get season 1 out there is so that way, as soon as we can, is so that way, one, we can obviously just get it out and as into people's eyeballs as fast as we
Mm-hmm.
can.
Totally.
But 2, it's to kind of get everyone's opinions on it. If people really like it, awesome. If they don't, why, what didn't you like about it? um we're definitely going to open it up to the viewers and say, hey, what did you like, what didn't you like, what do you want to see us do differently?
Right.
And we're going to take that feedback into season 2. Because yeah, I want to get, like I said, I would be on the next flight out tomorrow if we could do
Yeah.
it. And yeah, so we're definitely looking at, we kind of have a time that we're looking at starting, but all of that will kind of be determined on
Cool.
obviously financing and everyone's availability and if people want to see it. And
Nice.
so yeah.
When you let's say you get everything edited, they're uploaded to YouTube, and someone, starts one of the episodes and watches it, what are you wanting people to take away from these episodes when they watch them? What do you want them to get?
That when you research these things, don't just focus on the story of the cryptid itself, focus on the stories of the people talking about it.
That's awesome.
Because every person that we interviewed has their own story along with it.
Mm.
And they talk about how it's affected their lives, seeing or researching whatever it is. And the people, a lot of these stories wouldn't be out there if it wasn't for the people that saw them and was like, you know what, I don't care what people think about, people think I'm crazy or whatnot, I'm going to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And and we, they're stories in themselves, each episode, and that's kind of one of the reasons why every episode is its own thing, is that everyone is its own story. And everyone kind of has its own feel and kind of style to it, kind of depending on where and what we're talking about. Obviously there's that overall, there's that underlining kind of format that we kind of stick to, but each
Mm-hmm.
one kind of has its own approach in terms of things. um yeah, I think that's kind of the biggest takeaway, that is one, hopefully enjoyed the storytelling, and hopefully we told the story in the right way. And two, hopefully people realize how dedicated we are to telling these stories by putting ourselves in some of the situations that we ended up in, and we kept going and didn't let it scare us away, deter us, or just stop us. So yeah, I think that's kind of the main one, is that just
Yeah. And yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's one of the things, I'm up to getting, so I'm up in the 40s for episodes now, and like that's one of the things that I've taken away from all this is like you're not just like getting stories from people, but you're preserving an aspect of culture for future generations in a way. Now, do we know if YouTube is going to be available in the future, or if podcasts are going to be available? Well, they'll probably be available for a while at least, and like that is preserving these stories for future generations, whether it's about Bigfoot in Arizona, or like if I get ghost story from Cliff Barrickman, which was amazing. But yeah, it's the whole like preserving folklore, which that in itself is an interesting discussion. But it's like I was watching the roundtable you had, was it last night on Alex's show, and
Yep.
yeah, he brought up something similar to that point where it's like, yeah, in when you're talking to these guys down in Louisiana, that he was saying it's the last generation of was it Creole speakers, or like that
Yeah,
that
the
culture.
last generation
Yeah.
of people that speak genuine Cajun French.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like that, you're able to get these interviews and stories and things from these people. Like that alone makes this that episode very, very unique and special, I would say. So that's cool that
Yeah,
you're able to do it.
absolutely.
Yeah. Anything else that you would like to share with my listeners about Chasing Legends that I wasn't able to ask a question about, or maybe forgot to ask a question about?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Awesome. I love it. Um,
um, yeah, I mean, um, I'm pretty much an open book. So, if anyone wants to, write me and ask me any questions, feel free. I love interacting with people. You head over to the website,
yep.
chasinglegendscrew.com. From there, you can get to all of our social links. You can get to our YouTube. We have some of the kind of more pilot-esque, as I would call them, episodes on our
Okay.
face, or on our website. The season 1 will probably end up there as well, but it'll be on YouTube for sure. Yeah, and I guess just we're going to start ramping up promotions and stuff for the season. I got Alex and Eli going to edit together some promos. I'm going to edit some
Cool.
stuff. I'm going to start releasing some kind of BTS photos and some other cool stuff to kind of get people pumped and kind of show them kind of what we got coming.
Very
So
cool. Yeah.
stay tuned for that.
So we will all put those in the show notes, and definitely subscribe to Chasing Legends channel on YouTube. Hit the little bell so you get the notification when stuff gets up. You always want to do that so you don't miss out. But thanks again for being on the show tonight. Thank you for reminding me, because I'm pretty sure in the first one I was like, we need to chat in the future, and like it totally would have spaced my mind. I've got so much stuff going on right now, but thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, I saw I was like, hey, I
Yep.
saw you on Alex's show, and I was like, hey, I should get back on there. And I
Yeah.
looked, and your calendar was open. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let
Boom.
Jeremiah be the first one to get these stories.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nash is gonna stay on for a few minutes for the Bigfoot Society After Dark is what we call it, and he's gonna share some extra stories. Always a good time. If you want to hear the extra stuff, you can go to patreon.com/Bigfoot Society and support the podcast for $5 a month. Helps keep the lights on. Good stuff. So thanks again for coming on, Nash, and who knows what
Yeah,
the
thanks for
future
having
will
me.
bring. Maybe we'll have a
Who
part 3 in the
knows?
future. So thanks again
Oh,
for
I'm sure we
listening,
will.
guys. Have a good one.